26th. Here we are the day before Thanksgiving. It's 2:45 in the afternoon, and I'm meteorologist Kyle Kiel here at the 6 News Now desk in the KWQC newsroom. Meteorologist Deanna Rodriguez on standby, taking a look at our Facebook Live comments. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in this video. I'll get to them a little bit later here as we kind of break down the forecast here over the next several days as we continue to get new information in. In fact, 5 out of 6 of us from the weather team were just kind of powwowing in the Weather Center about our latest thoughts. So we'll share those with you right now. Obviously, the big story here today has certainly been the wind. As we go ahead and take a look at our graphics, our first alert here for today is certainly going to be the wind as we continue with gusts upwards of 40 to 50 plus miles per hour. And then all attention is going to turn to that winter storm here heading into the weekend. Saturday is going to be a first alert day all day long for snow and perhaps a little wind as well. We could have wind gusts upwards of 20 miles per hour. So it's not going to be as windy as today, but it's just going to be an added hazard and an added impact rather as we head into your Saturday. And then Sunday, there could still be some travel issues, especially in the morning hours. We may be able to drop this first alert day here as it does look like the snow is going to wrap up around midnight to 2 a.m. here on Sunday, but there still could be some slick spots as we head into Sunday morning. But the, I guess, good news about this snow that we're expecting this weekend, it'll be more on the wet side. So any wind that we do get, it's not really going to blow the snow around. Because the snow type is going to be a little bit more on the wetter side versus the fluffy side. So before we talk snow, let's talk about the wind because it's been pretty strong out there, damaging in some cases. We did get some reports of thousands of customers without power across eastern Iowa and western Illinois earlier this morning. And these are the peak wind gusts, 63 miles per hour in Cedar Rapids, 59 miles per hour in Iowa City. Moline coming in with 56 miles per hour, 53 in Davenport, 51 in Muscatine, and 49 in Burlington. So just to put this into perspective, the minimum criteria for a severe thunderstorm is 58 miles per hour. So this is no surprise that it did cause some damage across the viewing area. Right now the winds are sustained. These are sustained winds anywhere from 20 to 35 miles per hour. Notice they're ushering in out of the northwest. So that is a very stiff northwest wind with gusts at times upwards of 40 to 45 miles per hour. Right now in Cedar Rapids and Iowa City, we have gusts of 60 miles per hour. So we still have a few more hours of these gusty winds before things do start to die down here as we head into the evening hours. So our first alert day will continue until 4 p.m. for the winds. Again, we saw the sustained winds upwards of 30, 35 miles per hour, gusts up to 50 plus miles per hour at times. So again, hopefully your inflatables haven't blown away. I did come across several trash cans that were in the middle of the road or on the side earlier this morning. And even, I'll share this story real quick. On the I-74 bridge I was going across, I saw police tape that was hanging. One of our digital people, Abby, is nodding her head, so it must have still been there when she came in this afternoon. But it was hanging from one of the headlights there on the bridge. So yeah, the wind here over the next few hours will be impacting our weather. Notice we'll have winds kind of calm down here as we head into the evening hours as temperatures do fall down into the low 20s early tomorrow morning. That bottom number there you see on the bar graph, those are wind chills. So we'll have wind chills in the teens here, lower teens at that, as we head into Thanksgiving morning. High temperatures tomorrow afternoon only topping off in the mid-30s. As we look at the Turkey Trot, if you're headed downtown Davenport for the Turkey Trot, always a very popular family event. It's going to be a cold one this year, but hey, at least it will be sunny. We'll have those winds out of the northwest, about 15 miles per hour or so. So yeah, if you're going down the hill, going up the hill it'll be a little hard, but going down the hill it'll be fine. But we'll have those feels like temperatures in the teens here for the Turkey Trot. So if you're running that, good luck. It is a fun race. I will not be out there tomorrow. I'll be in my warm home. But good luck to all you runners out there. Here's a look at the current setup. And I'm only showing you this to kind of give you perspective on where this winter storm is right now. So right now we're actually seeing some sunshine. Just outside our newsroom, we've got some windows out in the lobby, and we're finally seeing that sunshine. So at least it's a little brighter here this afternoon for many of us. But Clinton, Sterling, Princeton, you're still seeing those clouds. Same with you folks in Galena and Maquoketa. You might get a couple peaks of sunshine here over the next hour or so, but for the most part, it's been cloudy. Let's talk our winter storm. That little swirl you see out there in the Pacific Ocean, that is our winter storm, and that is going to be moving onshore tomorrow. And this is going to give us really a better idea of the forecast snow amounts. You've probably seen the maps all over your social media feed of, X location is going to get 13.6 inches of snow. it's impossible to kind of forecast to the tenth of an inch of how much snow you're going to get 4 days out. You know, that's just, we try to get people away from that kind of stuff, which is why we don't put out a snowfall forecast until about 48 hours out. So here we are Wednesday evening, heading into the evening. We're probably going to have a snowfall forecast out perhaps by the TV6 News at 10 tonight, but certainly here tomorrow we should have kind of a better idea on a range of snowfall forecasts. But this does look to be a very impactful event here, not only locally, but really across the Midwest. So accumulating snow is likely enough for shovels and snow blowers, and it's going to obviously impact a lot of travel here, especially on Sunday. So I've been telling a lot of people who need to get somewhere Saturday to probably plan on doing that traveling here as we head into Friday to or from wherever you're going. So Saturday is certainly going to be the most impactful day. We should start to see those impacts improve here as we head into the day on Sunday. So I want to walk you through ExactTrack here. We'll go through a series of maps and then we'll kind of get to your questions that you might have. As we head through the overnight hours, we'll see a few passing clouds. Those northwest winds will continue on the breezy side, but it certainly won't be as gusty as what it was earlier today. Lots of sunshine here through Thanksgiving Day, just a cold one with those northwest winds, 10 to 15 miles per hour. And we'll continue with the quiet conditions here as we head Thursday night and even into Friday. You could see just a few passing clouds from time to time, but we'll start to see an increase in clouds here as we head into Friday afternoon and even into the evening hours. Any snow probably won't occur until after 9 or 10 o'clock in our western hometowns. And then after midnight, this really starts to spread east through the TV6 viewing area. So this is actually the latest run of our in-house ExactTrack model that is showing widespread snow here as we head into the morning hours on Saturday. There could be some moderate to locally heavy pockets of snow. This isn't going to be a heavy snow event through and through, but there will certainly be some time frames where we will see moderate to heavy snow through this event. So our in-house model only goes through early Saturday morning, but I wanted to show you the same model comparison that I showed you yesterday, and it is showing that consistency that we want to see at this juncture. So you'll notice here by 10 a.m. widespread snow across the viewing area. Notice here in portions of northern Missouri and into Kansas, that's where we have that rain snow line. Yesterday was looking like that could kind of get into our southern counties, but right now this looks like mainly a snow event for the entire TV6 viewing area. It does look like we'll have those slightly warmer temperatures closer to freezing, not only at the surface but aloft, probably around that, pardon me, that Highway 34 corridor and then toward I-74 in Peoria and Champaign and points off to the south. So again, it does look like this is primarily going to be a snow event for the TV6 viewing area, and this will be a long duration. It will be about 24 hours that we do see at least some light snow, because the indication right now is that the snow is going to come to an end around midnight, maybe the wee hours of your Sunday morning. So this should not say rain potential, obviously, at the top. It should say snow potential, so I forgot to change that. That's my bad. But here's a graphic that we showed a little bit earlier this morning here on the live stream, and this is the winter storm warning confidence. So a winter storm warning is issued if there's at least 6 inches of snow in 12 hours or 8 inches in 24 hours. I need to double check the criteria here, because I think it's 6 inches of snow in about a 48-hour period. Regardless, it does look like most, if not all of the area will likely get under a winter storm warning. Again, that rain snow line is in question. Looks like it's going to be near and south of Highway 34, and that kind of lines up with the probabilities here. That's the 30 to 50% line there in the green. The orange is 50 to 80%, and then the magenta color there from the Quad Cities, Clinton points off to the north. That's where we have a greater than 80% risk of a winter storm warning being issued. This likely wouldn't be issued until Friday or so. I would assume some sort of headlines will start to come out tomorrow from the National Weather Service in Davenport. I know they're watching this storm very closely, just as we are, and we're going to continue to keep an eye on this. So this gives you an idea that several inches of snow is the likelihood here across our region. So I just wanted to pull this up real quick for you. The least snowiest seasons on record. Now, we always talk about the Quad Cities. We're referring to the climate site in Moline. This is where it just makes it easier to pick one spot for climate record, and Moline is that spot. It's been the airport for a few decades now, many decades, but looking back across the whole area of Moline where we've taken these snowfall measurements, last year was the least snowiest on record, 8.2 inches. So I just want to put that into perspective because some hometowns could likely see this from this single event coming this weekend. I'm not saying it's a guarantee that we'll see 8 inches of snow widespread, but just to give you an idea, this is already starting to be a snowier season than last one. And then prior to that, we had to go back to 1936 and 1937. Obviously, that was a very hot summer, and that transitioned to a very lack of snowy winter, if that's the proper term I'm using. But that's where we had 9.9 inches. So last year definitely set the bar for the least snowiest on record. And just to give you some perspective, the airport in Davenport had about a foot of snow last year. So not a lot of snow, obviously, but there's about 4 inches that kind of divided Davenport and Moline, and between the two sites, it's about 15 miles. So that little bit of a radius, we had 4 inches of difference in the snowfall. So that's what makes snow forecasting so difficult, is just a few miles down the road, you could have a couple of inches difference in snow, which is why you see those ranges that we put, you know, for example, I'll just go on the lower end, 1 to 3 inches, 3 to 6 inches, you know, whatever. That's kind of gives you behind the curtain of this forecast. So don't know if I have another graphic here. I do have another graphic. It's 8 to 14 day temperatures here. It does show that we have a good probability of below normal temperatures here, technically for the first week and a half of December. And this really tracks because of the snow we're getting. So once we get that snowpack on the ground, it is going to turn a little bit more on the chillier side, a lot more on the chillier side. We're talking 20s for highs, single digits for lows, perhaps even colder than that, depending on how much snow we get. And our weather pattern here for the first part of December does look to be a little more active, maybe not as impactful as this winter storm, but yeah, I'm trying to, oh, I'm sorry, we're here. I'm sorry. I'm learning how to work this system here, but we're back out here. There's Deanna right there monitoring the Facebook comments. A lot of you are asking for specific snowfall for the metro area. Tammy's asking about that. Keith is also asking for the Davenport metro area. It's too early to put a specific amount, but I think the chances of at least 6 inches of snow is certainly increasing across the area, especially farther north you live. In fact, I want to kind of go back. I'll pull us up here real quick, maybe. There we go. And I'll go back to a different graphic. But Deanna, if you can find me the, well, I guess we can't see the graphic anymore. Oh, here we go. No, it's right there. There we go. Okay. See, this is what we can do here on the live stream, right? So I want to pull up this graphic right here for those of you asking about snowfall amounts, because this is, again, a really good graphic that Kevin Phelps was able to put together this morning of the probability of, or the chance, I guess, of at least 6 inches of snow in 12 hours or 8 inches in 24 hours. From the Quad Cities points north, that's a really good likelihood, and really the entire viewing area, the chances of that happening are greater than 50%. So, you know, predicting the weather is all about probabilities and chances. We always say that, chance of rain, chance of snow. That's really where we're at this point in time. So hopefully that kind of answers your question, Keith. Melissa is asking, what time is it supposed to start? We're giving you the first alert a few days in advance. This is going to start around midnight Friday, probably in our western hometowns, you know, Tipton, Iowa City area, Mount Pleasant, probably between 9 and 11 p.m. And this overspreads the area and will continue until about midnight or a couple hours after here on your Sunday morning. So this is a 24-hour duration event, and will likely set the stage for several inches of snow. Brett is asking if we think that watches will be issued tonight or tomorrow. Likely tomorrow. We'll probably start.
Tomorrow, if not for sure by Friday.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, usually within about 48 hours they'll start to provide those watches, but we'll have some sort of winter alert out there as well. When will the wind decrease? Yeah, we should start to see that wind decrease this evening. We'll watch to the northwest, because those 55 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts, those might filter into our area over the next couple of hours, but probably after 4 or 5 o'clock we should start to see those winds go below 40 miles per hour, but that's when the first alert day expires. But they'll still be pretty gusty here over the next couple of days. I think by Friday we should start to see the wind die down just a bit. And wind, again, not going to be too much of a factor with this system. We're talking maybe, maybe 20 mile per hour wind gust out of that. So that will be something that we continue to keep a close eye on here as we head through the hours here over the next several days. Harley is breaking out the snow pants. Yeah, snow pants, snow boots. Yes. So what happened? Oh, so are we done? Oh, so we're gonna be okay. So we're just on Facebook here. Okay, sorry. Quad Cities Live. It's a recorded show today, which is why I'm on the desk here. But if you want to watch that, it's on TV6 right now. Kiwani is on the strong side of snow, I'm guessing. Oh yeah, Matthew.
I feel like it's kind of hard to say, like, who's going to be on the strong side. I feel like once we get that system in the States, we'll start to have a better idea on, okay, who is going to have, you know, the stronger end. But I feel like since it's going to be a long day of a duration, it's going to be one of those where it'll be light, and then some areas it could be a little bit stronger. Yeah,
I'm going to pull up this right here. Yeah. This is our weekend storm. And if you can't see the highlighted states there we go. This is still off into the Pacific Ocean. So this is about, I did the measurement tool, it was about 2,500 miles or so off, away from the Quad Cities. So once this gets sampled by our weather balloon network, which obviously starts on the West Coast there, even into Canada, we're going to get more accurate, more real-time data into our computer models, which will kind of hone in on that track, the temperature profile, snowfall rates, which kind of lead us to that eventual snowfall forecast. But yeah, right now this is that's our weekend storms spinning out there in the Pacific Ocean. Clinton, Iowa, Gavin, yep, several inches of snow, possibly up to 6 inches. Miguel is asking how long do we think that the snow would stay here. We're looking at about a 24-hour duration. So starting roughly at midnight, an hour or two earlier in our western hometowns. We're really kind of messaging midnight to midnight. I think the most impactful is probably going to be Saturday morning through early Saturday evening. That's where we'll get most of our accumulating snow. But I bet you wake up Saturday morning to maybe an inch or two of snow. Shirley's asking how much will Des Moines County get, and then that follows Bruce with how much is Burlington getting. Again, we can't really say the specifics on the amount of snow that we're getting at this point in time, but several inches does look likely. And we were kind of talking right before we went on here with Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland. It's seeming that there's not going to be much spread from north to south on snowfall totals, so we might be able to blanket the whole entire area with a range of snowfall totals, but I think at least a few inches of snow in Burlington, kind of trending more toward possibly 5 and 6 inches, just kind of being open and honest here. So
I think as we get into tomorrow, and for sure by Friday, we'll have a better idea to get better ranges on who will be getting what. But
yes,
we just said it's.
Yeah, and Keith asks a good question. The reason things are not known yet is just because of the uncertain track of the system. Kind of, yeah. We're getting a lot more consistency on that track. Usually for, again, this is kind of behind the scenes on the weather, but for us to get a decent, or I guess a heavier snowfall track, we want that low pressure to go basically track between Quincy, Illinois, and St. Louis, Missouri. Right now, this track of the low is kind of more closer to Quincy, so that kind of gives us the trick of like, okay, are we going to have some warmer air kind of pump into this system? It does look like that's a possibility, maybe close to Burlington, kind of that Burlington down to Peoria line, but it does look like that might be happening a little farther south of our area and keep all of this snow. So really, yeah, it's the strength of the system, how much moisture, exactly, and really the Gulf is open with this system. It's not going to cut off any moisture here, so we're going to have enough moisture from the Gulf pumping into the system. A lot of times we can get some dry air from the north to pump into the system. Doesn't quite look like this certain setup as the storm comes out of the Rockies that it'll be that we're kind of concerned with. Yeah. But again, we're still more than 48 hours out from this. Well, 72 hours really, a few days out. So, but the consistency we've seen over the last, I would say, 12 to 24 hours has been. Yeah, it's made us a little more confident in the fact that this is going to be impactful with about a half foot of snow. So
there's a lot that goes into it behind the scenes. To
there
be
is.
Able to be like, okay, this is what's going on.
There is.
I have a question.
Sure.
Will the snow stick for a long period of time, and so how long is the ground still too warm to stick?
Oh, that's a good question.
I I mean, we've been really cold. Now this is, I do believe, yeah, the snow will stick, and it's going to be that wet snow. And
Yeah.
that's going to allow for it to feel cold, even colder next week. So
Right.
I do.
And this is a good question, and I like that people are thinking in this way because I got that same question yesterday. Like, okay, you know, we were in the 50s yesterday, so isn't the ground still warm? I mean, again, we're still a few days out from this event. I mean, we had temperatures in the 30s all day today. We're going down to the 20s tonight, you know, barely above freezing.
Yeah,
So the ground is certainly going to be able to cool down enough for this snow to stick. So, and then after that, I mean, snow acts as a refrigerator. So once we get that fresh snowpack on the ground, it's hard to warm up. So we've got several days that are going to have highs in the 20s, lows in the single digits, which means we're likely going to have wind chills possibly near or below zero. So a lot of factors here there. So we've got, what about LeClaire? Is it likely for schools to close on Monday? I don't think so. Like I said, I think the crews are going to be able to catch up probably Saturday night as that snow winds down.
For sure Sunday morning.
Yeah, because after like, I don't know, 6 or 7 o'clock, I think the bulk of the accumulating snow will be over and those heavier snowfall rates will be done. So that'll give those city and the state crews, you know, on the interstates and stuff, a little more time to.
I've been seeing them
do
out
that.
already, trying to get
Yeah.
the roads prepped, and I mean that's great. You know, everyone's.
Yeah, we did hear Bettendorf's already been brining, so, and we plan to follow up on, I think Friday, on what our local cities are doing to prep for the snow. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of snow emergencies as well. So with that, it looks like, oh, Patrick is wondering if we could get thunder snow. You know what? I've not looked into that. I don't.
I think I'm going to dive into
Yeah.
it because I haven't.
Yeah, we'll see, but I haven't really seen anything screaming thunder snow. But if we do, that could definitely increase snowfall rates where that does happen.
We don't want that.
We'll do a couple more questions here. Thank you all for commenting. Taylor, let's see. Taylor is saying, oh, how much snow in the Eldridge or Davenport areas? So Taylor, actually, we'll end on another graphic here, but it's too early to give specifics on that. I think Eric may put out a forecast if we have the confidence later tonight at 10 o'clock, certainly on the air and on our website and our weather app. But the map you're looking at right now, so David and Ashley, this is good for you as well. What we're looking at are the winter storm warning confidence criteria here. So this is the chance of seeing at least 6 inches of snow in 12 hours or 8 inches of snow in 24 hours. So basically this is just saying what is the chance of getting a winter storm warning. It's greater than 50 across the entire viewing area, but for areas from the Quad Cities north, that chance is greater than 80%. So you kind of get the idea that maybe the heaviest snowfall is going to fall from the Quad Cities and points off to the north. So I think a half foot of snow is a good bet for many locations. Where we're kind of in question is around that Highway 34 corridor. You know, I had someone asking questions from Galesburg a little bit earlier. That's one where I'm like, okay, maybe we could see a little less snow, but there are some indications that there could be that 6+ inches of snow. So a lot to keep track of here as we head over the next few days. Chucky is asking if there's going to be a winter storm watch today. No watches today because we're still 72 hours out from this event starting, a little more than that actually. So we're 3 days out. Generally, those winter storm watches don't get issued until 48 hours out or so. So I would imagine sometime on Thanksgiving tomorrow.
Tomorrow, if not for sure by Friday.
Exactly. So, but we've had this first alert day out all week. So I'm hoping that the message is getting across that this will be impactful. You know, we're not trying to instill fear or anything, but the bottom line is, I'll just be open and honest with you, is that you know, we got to stay ahead of these Facebook pages that are posting these raw model outputs that aren't taking into account the behind the scenes of what's happening, the science of what's going on. You know, we got to take into account road temperatures. We got to take into account snowfall rates and whether or not we are going to get warm air aloft or dry air or anything like that.
The weather days before and just like around. There's a lot.
It's a domino effect. So, so that's why we're kind of giving you that or we've been giving you the early first alert on that. But like I said, we've got all hands on deck here over the next few days. You know, even though it's a holiday, the weather and the news never sleeps. So we'll be here for you. You can, if you've not already, you can download the KWQC First Alert Weather app. as well as our KWQC News app. Those will be updated. The weather app is updated at least 3 times a day, but during this winter storm, I'm assuming that we'll be sending a lot more updates. And you can also set it up to get that alert of a winter storm watch, winter storm warning, winter weather advisory, whatever it may be. That'll set it up for your exact location, and really you can take that with you on the go.
Yeah, you just have to make sure you have your settings on, depending
yes,
on the phone that you have on.
Follow your location.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
way you can.
Yeah, and then let's see, we'll go a couple more comments here.
Is it good for storm chasing in the storms?
Probably not.
No, we want everybody to be safe. Of course, feel free to send in your pictures from your backyards, but we do want everybody to, be safe, because it's going to be the first, system that we have through, bringing us some pretty widespread snow, and the roads they're going to be a little,
And that's a good point, and this is kind of the messaging that we've said all week, whether it's an inch of snow, 6 inches of snow plus, whatever it is, it's the first snow of the season. It's going to impact your driving. I mean, we see it all the time, a lot of times with these 1 to 2 inch snows. In fact, at some point we'll have to look, we have a graphic in our system. I think there was a study from the Iowa State Patrol that most accidents happen when there's an inch or 2 of snow or less. So really what we're trying to focus on is the impacts here, not necessarily that snowfall amount. I know that's what most of you care about, is the snowfall amount, but we kind of focus more on the impacts. Mike is asking about a grandbaby being born in Des Moines. Well, congratulations. That's very exciting. So the concern is 7 p.m. Friday. If you're there earlier in the day on Friday, Mike, you're going to be good. I don't know the time. Have you looked at Des Moines? I haven't. No. Yeah.
We're going to get new model update. I think it comes out around 2.
Yeah, we should have some new data. So, but yeah, I think if you get there earlier in the day on Friday, I think you'll be golden. If you're traveling Friday night, maybe plan on staying a little bit later. Sorry, there's newsroom going on. All right, so I think that kind of wraps everything up here. We appreciate you all for joining us. We will be, yes, Galena will be getting snow. The entire TV6 viewing area will be getting snow, several inches of it as well. So Eric is working on the forecast as we speak, so he'll have an update on the first alert forecast coming up at 4 o'clock. Teresa's there at 5, and we'll be keeping you updated here through the Thanksgiving holiday and beyond. So we thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe and have a great day.